welcome to Yellow Week. For the entirety of this week, I have decided to donate my entire life to the color yellow. So everything that I wear is going to be yellow, which will prove difficult after a couple of days. Everything that I eat is going to be yellow. And every single book that I'm going to read to get to the next city has to have a yellow cover. That is my own personal little challenge. Every book that I read to get to it, all of my travel books have to have a yellow cover. For the sightseeing books, it's fine. I can do like any other color that I need to, but to get to the city has to be yellow. So let's talk the prompt that we have just gotten, which surprisingly is going to be difficult for me to figure out. We're going to Rome. And we need to read a romance. So a book that has even a romantic subplot will be fine if you're not like a majority romance reader. Even just like a mention of a relationship should be okay for you. And you might be thinking, like, Aoife, this is a free goal for you. Like, you may as well, like, you're going to stack up loads of points for this. You are not wholly correct. I have read every single romance that I own that has a yellow cover. And I don't really know where to go from there. Transport has changed because of Ryanair, because of EasyJet, because of Wizz Air, because of all of them. Planes have gotten slightly less expensive, which I'm very thankful for because it is helping me to save a little bit GRC. But I do need to have a look through my Goodreads, through my Kindle, through my script, through my library app, and see if there's anything that I can pick out that is a romance and that has a majority yellow cover. And if I can even hit another one of the bonuses, like that it's a POC author or like that it's a translated fiction, even better. Let's see if we can do it. I don't know if we can do the translated part, but I think we might be able to do the POC. Also this week, I'm going to taste test some coffee syrups that I bought during the week last week that have like a little 18 sample sizes of a totally random selection of flavors. So today's one is English toffee flavored. Haven't taken a sip yet, haven't done anything. I literally just poured it into my cup and go. So let's see how this one is. Well, that works really well. I don't know if it's the amount that I put in or if it's just the flavor overall, but it's quite subtle. It's very sweet, but it's a kind of a subtle sweetness. I like that one. If I ever find that flavor again, I think I would pick it up. Anyway, I've made a decision, kind of. As I said, I haven't got any new to read yellow romances on my shelf. So I'm going to go back to a reread of what I hope is a favorite. And that is The Unhoneymooners by Christina Lauren. It was the first like adult steamy romance that I had ever read. I read it in maybe like May or June of 2020. So I feel like now is a good enough time to reread it, A, because it fits the prompt, B, because it has a yellow cover, but also because I don't really remember a lot of the intricacies of the plot. I know, like, some things that happened, but I don't remember the whole lot of it. Let's see if it's still love 3 years later. Day one basically went where we not wanted it to go at all. I did some sprints on my channel by myself, and you know what? I had never really done sprints on my own for such a long time before, and I was a little bit kind of worried. I had never held the fort by myself, but I gave it a go until about 8 o'clock when my internet just decided to give up. By then I had basically decided that I was clocking out of life for the evening. Wanted to share all of my food that I was going to eat with you for the evening. I basically ended up just making a bread roll for dinner, which was yellow, so that still counts for the yellow food for the day, but I don't think that the whole day was a success as we wanted it to. But reading was kind of a success, and also you can kind of not see it, but I'm sleeping on yellow bed sheets, and my pajamas, not the top, but it has got like a little lemon on it, and it says "Be lemon, be happy" for some reason. But the shorts are also yellow. So is my curtain behind me that you can see that separates my bedroom from the kitchen. My window, big window curtains, they are also yellow. I will do a big yellow tour with you tomorrow, basically, but we are committing to this as much as we can. Now, how did the reading go? The reading has gone so well so far. I am on page 286 presently. It is, thankfully, as good as I remember it having been. It is just as much of a hit as it was before. And I am really thankful for that, because I've had a little bit of a struggle with Christina Lauren lately. I've had a couple of times where I have just been like, I don't know if they're my favorite author anymore. I don't know if this is the author for me anymore. But you know what? We're winning favor back with each other. I will very likely finish this before I go to sleep. It is about 11:30. If I stay up for another maybe half an hour, 45 minutes, I will get this little chunk that I need to read. And then tomorrow I can go into script, or I can take a look on my bookshelf. It doesn't necessarily have to be yellow anymore when I have gotten this done. Because my own little challenge for the week will have been ticked off for this leg. I'd love to find something new, exciting, interesting. I think what I might do is a Legends and Lattes. That's an option. Another option is Shipwrecked or All the Fields, whichever one comes first, by Olivia Dade, which are the second and third books in the Spoiler Alert series. These are Bethany's favorites, so they will give me an extra 50 GRC as well. I have a couple of options from Scribd. A lot of my Scribds are unavailable at the moment. So I don't know how many of them are going to be available to me when I open the app tomorrow morning, but let's see. Let's just take a look where we end up, where we go. But right now, we're doing better than we thought that we would. Tuesday morning, new hoodie, new day, new coffee. This one is a mocha. I started my coffee journey with mochas way back like 10 years ago, so I'm kind of wondering how this is gonna go. Let's see how we go. Oh, that's also pretty smooth. I like that. I might look for as well. So, what is today's plan? Today's plan is to finish The Unhoneymooners. I have about an hour left into the audiobook, which I should very easily finish within like the next hour, obviously. Then I don't know where to go. I have no idea. I might listen to The Honeymoon Crashers, which is the second book in the series, and try and like get back into the world that way. So after that, I'm not sure where to go. I might stack up a little bit more GRC and read Shipwrecked. I think that one is the second book in the series. I might read Shipwrecked, get myself a little bit more GRC. That is one of Bethany's favorites, like I said last night. But today might not be a big brain day either, because last night at about 1:30, maybe 2 even, there was a horrifically loud thunderstorm. I don't think I've ever heard thunder so loud in my entire life. So it took me a little while to fall back to sleep after it, and I might be a little bit groggy and disorientated for a little while. So once the audiobook is finished, and thankfully it's a reread, so I don't have to like really concentrate on what they're saying, because I kind of know where the story is going. Once the audiobook is finished, I might go into The Honeymoon Crashers, which is only like 4 hours or so long. And then I might just take a little break, listen to some music, or watch a panel show, or listen to a podcast. There's a couple of podcasts that I need to catch up on. There's some YouTube that I need to catch up on from the weekend. Let's see where we go from there. Also, I don't have any idea what I'm going to do for dinner. It might end up being a carbonara. It might end up being like a chicken with sauce and some veggies thing. I'm not entirely sure, but I will take you with me. I said to you this morning when I was planning out my day that I wanted to read The Unhoneymooners. Finished it. I also said that I wanted to start The Honeymoon Crashers. Finished it. I think it's a pretty good book. It's a good one if you have already read The Unhoneymooners and you just wanted a little bit extra from the story. But I don't know if it has any personal merit by itself. I have picked up a copy of All the Fields, which is here somewhere. Here. I picked up a copy of All the Fields that I'm going to go out and read on the balcony for a little bit. And then we come to the problem of dinner. I said this morning that I wanted to make something with chicken, because I had chicken defrosting in my fridge. And then Brie dropped another detour. So she wanted us to pair a wine with a book that we really enjoyed, or she wanted to have a picture of the book that we were currently reading and a food that reminded us of Italy. Obviously, that means I have to make a carbonara. I had a little hyperfixation period on carbonara maybe about 2 weeks ago, I think. And I actually haven't had one since, because I found that I was putting too much cheese in. Now, I know there's no such thing as too much cheese, but it was getting a little bit too much cheese for me. So I'm going to try and balance that out a little bit. I'm going to give myself maybe an hour and a half of reading time. And then when I start to get really hungry at around 7, I'll go into my kitchen. I will take you with me, I promise, and I will show you how to make my carbonara. Oh, and it doesn't have cream in it. There's no yellow today. No yellow clothes. We've run out of yellow. I do apologize. Anywho, I am on my way to my office and I'm also going to get my nails refilled today because 4 of them have broken off. Presently reading all the fields. I am on page, something like a page 110, page 107. I'm also going to listen to the audiobook of The 7-Year Slip by Ashley Poston when I get to work. And hopefully I'll finish it before there may be a prompt drop. There may be something, I don't know. I feel like there's going to be something today. Today's the 16th and the timer said the 16th. So there might be something at some stage of the afternoon. I'm not entirely sure, but I need to be ready. I want to be prepared. So I just put my hand into the little baggie that I brought from home this week. I just put my hand in and out came caramel. I don't think we're going to have problems with this one. I am very much a sweet tooth. I'm a caramel lover. Like, I love a caramel. I love a salted caramel. So once I've gotten this opened, because I don't have like a sharp knife or anything here, we're going to put it into our coffee and we're going to have a taste. So here we go. I'm not going to put too much in. Maybe as much as I've put in for the other 2 days. Yeah, that half a bottle. That's a good caramel. And I've got all of it on my fingers too. That's a really nice caramel. So far, we're 3 from 3. So far, all of the ones that I've had, phenomenal. What is today's yellow food? Here you ask. A pizza that I have completely showered with cheese. Standard. When I'm waiting for the oven to heat up, let me tell you how today has gone. I have finished the 7-Year Slip by Ashley Poston. and it has emotionally wrecked me. I think that's probably a really high 4.5 stars, if not a high 5. It's phenomenal. It deals with suicide and suicidal tendencies and suicidal thoughts so lovingly and so respectfully and carefully, and also how it can be for the families who are left behind by people who have died of suicide. It's phenomenal. It's a miracle I didn't cry at work. I have still got all the feels on the go. I'm not over 50% through. Oh, by the way, nails are yellow now. I'm not over 50% through all the feels, and I don't think I will be by the time I go to bed tonight. So if Brie doesn't drop a prompt by the time I go to sleep, I might be able to fit it into the next prompt depending on what we have to do. But if she does, I might be screwed. Let's just see. She's a chaos demon and she could literally do anything. She'll drop it right now while I'm talking to you. I don't know. I am going to keep going with it because I am enjoying it. I'm actually enjoying it more than I enjoyed Spoiler Alert. And I know a couple of people who told me that this was their favourite book of the series. Brie herself actually told me that. My friend Roisin has told me that. So let's see if it's Aoife's favourite book of the series. I know you can hear the fan. It is a billion degrees outside. I'm so sorry. I'm about to go to sleep. I have a feeling that the prompt is going to drop while I'm sleeping. And I have a feeling I know where we're going and what we're going to use to get there. I have never seen the prompt. I have no idea what the prompts are. I have not seen anything. None of the hosts are party to what and when it's going to happen. But I think we're going somewhere in the Mediterranean, like Adriatic area of the Mediterranean. So we're thinking like a Greece or a Dubrovnik. We're thinking Greece. I can't pinpoint a direction in Greece. I cannot pinpoint of 3 places. Athens, Crete, or Santorini. But for Croatia, I'm pretty sure it's a Dubrovnik. And for both of those, I feel like it's a historical book. I feel like it's something to do with history. I feel like it's read a historical fiction. Read a book with dual timeline. Read a book that is set in the past, like is written Aoife went to sleep rather than Aoife is going to sleep. I just got this vibe somehow this evening. Let's see how good my prediction skills are when we wake up tomorrow morning. Let's see how good my prediction skills are. Let's see what it is, where it is, and if I have anything in yellow that's going to help me get there. Because if it is a historical fiction book, I'm pretty sure none of the books that I have that are historical fictions are yellow. I'm looking at Ariadne right now. That's blue. This might not go well if it is what I think it is. Let's just see, okay? Let's go to sleep and let's see what we're doing in the morning. The clothing is a complete failure. I very quickly ran out of clothes. I should technically have brought my yellow hoodie with me today because it is apparently going to shit down rain. Overnight, I was correct. We did get a new prompt. We are off to Santorini. So I was half right. We are going to Greece. But I was not at all right about what the prompt would be. So the prompt is a coastal setting, which is not something that is set in the past or something that has a historical fiction setting. So I've got 2 books in mind. Somebody out there, I don't remember who, but somebody out there, probably like a subscriber or a follower or something, told me to read You Had Me at Halloumi by Ginger Jones. And I took a look at it. It is set on the island of Cyprus, which is very close to Santorini, and it has a majority yellow cover because I think it's like a beach picture on the front cover. The main character, her name is Freya, is sitting on the beach. So that was perfect. That was where we were going to go with that. And then I also had another idea of reading a book set in Singapore. Singapore is an island city-state. I've been there once when we went to Australia as a family when I was like 12 or 13. My family stopped over in Singapore for an overnight stay, both coming and going home. That's a lot of syrup. So I have the Crazy Rich Asians series on my Kindle and as a physical copy. And I really want to finish them. They're on my series intention for 2023, so it is kind of important that I finish this one. So I'm going to try my best to finish that book before the next prompt drops. I have no idea where we're going to be going. I have no idea when it's going to be. Haven't seen any hide nor hair of a timer. I know it's been updated, but I haven't actually watched it yet because I wasn't on sprints when this prompt dropped. Yes, that is a mosquito bite, by the way. Let's see how far into rich people problems we get. I don't know if I'm going to finish it, but I'm going to try my best. So, coffee is stirred. My hands are so sticky. Coffee is stirred. Let's see how we go. I think so far this is my least favorite. This one, I don't know if it doesn't work with the coffee that we have here, or if it's just too something, but this is my least favorite one so far. I am going to drink it, and I'm going to probably finish off the bottle. All these hand gestures, like an Italian, just gave me my stack up for the day. I'm going to finish it, but I don't think this is my favorite for the week so far. Surprisingly dark this morning. I've had to film in the opposite direction. There's been some updates, but I vlogged none of them yesterday. Because I got to work got very stressful. I got home was very stressful. None of my electronics were charged up enough that I could tell you how things were going. So we're here now. It's Friday morning. I am continuing as best I can with an orange t-shirt. I know that for this readathon, orange does not count as yellow for the reason that if you can add another color to it to make another color, it doesn't count. So pink counts for red because you only have to add white. But orange doesn't count for red or yellow because you have to put the two of those together to make orange. Anyway, yesterday I ended up making a yellow curry that I was kind of worried about a little bit because I'd never had yellow curry before. I'd had a lot of greens, I had a lot of reds. Never had a yellow curry in my entire life. But you know what? It actually turned out pretty nicely. I was pretty impressed with it. I'm about to go and make coffee in a little bit, but I actually also am about to go and collect a parcel that my mom sent during the week that I missed the delivery of because I was away yesterday, and that has more coffee in it. So maybe we'll open that together, and I have a feeling that there is a book inside there as well that I have been waiting for. Speaking of books, things is not going so hot with getting to Santorini. We've had a bit of a struggle. I think I'm hitting a little bit of a wall. None of the books that I had read had worked out. The travel book that I have read, You Had Me at Halloumi, did not grab me at all. So I DNF'd that. And DNFs will only count if you get to 50%, and you can only count the words or the pages that you've already read. So I had to leave that completely to the side. And Brie and I, who are pretty good friends outside of the readathon, we were talking last night, and we talked about Talia Hibbert. One of her books was a completely free deal across all of the Amazon countries. So we were talking about that, and we were just looking at the other books in the series, and we both found The Fake Boyfriend Fiasco. I think it's called that now, but it used to be called Sweet for the Greek or Sweet on the Greek. It's only about 200 pages, but it has got a coastal setting, and it is set in Greece. I don't think it's necessarily set in Santorini, but it is set on a Greek island. So we're going to do that instead. It's not going to be an audiobook. I don't know what I'm going to do for audio today. I might take a look through Scribd. I've got a lot still that are unavailable. I might take a look through my library. I've also got Rich People Problems, the third book of the Crazy Rich Asian series. But I don't like listening to those as an audiobook because there are so many footnotes. I like to be able to take those in a written form. It doesn't matter if it's an ebook or a physical book. I just like to be able to take those in. So I'm not going to listen to that as the audiobook, even though my library does have it as an audiobook, and they do have it available at the moment. And it's a 16-hour audiobook, which gives you some kind of an idea as to how long this book is going to be. Like, I have got a physical copy of it over somewhere on that shelf, and it is ginormous. It's one of the biggest books that I have on my TBR. But we're going to make things work. I have a feeling that we're going to be packing our bags today at some stage. I have got sprints today at 6 o'clock my time, so 12 o'clock for Eastern. And I have a feeling that there might be some chaos drops during them. I'm not entirely certain. Let's see how we do. After much faffing around, we have gone to collect a parcel. It's filled with coffee, like genuinely stacked with coffee, including 2 boxes of decaf? No, 1 box of decaf. A single origin from Franks and Honest, which is a brand in Ireland. Columbia from Lore, and 2 own brand from a grocery store that my mom goes to a lot, and also the main reason that we're here. The final book in the Aisling series. So if I'm ever feeling homesick, I go back to this book constantly. It's sent to me directly by the publisher because I asked and begged and pleaded very kindly. And this is going to be one of the saddest goodbyes that I'm ever going to give a book, because this has been such a comfort read, especially from having lived away from home for so long. I've seen so many people have read this. I've seen so many people have loved this. And it's my turn to love it and to read it. But I don't want to say goodbye. Speaking of coffee, let's try one of these new ones. I'm just going to put my hand into the box, and whatever I pick up, I pick up. And I've picked up the Colombian, the Colombian Lore capsules. Right, let's go make a coffee. Let's pick out a new syrup that we're going to try, and let's get me caffeinated for once. It is almost 10 o'clock in the morning. It's a bit late for me to have my first coffee already. How convenient. The capsules are yellow. So let's take a look at what system we're going to use today. Amaretto. I think we've got a winner in salted caramel or butter amaretto. I think it's a Friday. I deserve to treat myself. Let's go for a salted caramel. You would not know I just washed my hair last night. So, salted caramel syrup, here we go. That was all foam. I think I foamed this a bit too much. So I've had the caramel one already this week, but that was a whole other level. I think that was just a little deeper. That one had just a little extra kick to it. And I am a salted caramel connoisseur. If it's got salted caramel in it, will eat it up whole. This one is good. I don't know if it's necessarily the best one that I've had this week. I know that yesterday one of my co-workers picked me out a chocolate mint syrup from the baggie that I had at work that I showed you. That was not it. That one went straight into the bin afterwards. But this one I could definitely drink again. This one I could keep going with. We're in the bathroom doing something different than taking care of our skin. We're doing severe damage to our hair. I have used hair protectant, so don't worry. Great news, I got to Santorini. I made a discovery today, and I'm so proud of this discovery. The fictional town of, I think it's called Cooper Coast, or Falkston, or Fairston, Fairmaiden, Fairhead, whatever the town is called, where Cooper Coast retirement home is, in the Thursday Murder Club by Richard Osman, is in Kent, and it has like coastal setting, as in it is explicitly said has a coastal setting. So I listened to the audiobook of that while I was at work today, and had a phenomenal time. I have read this book before. As I've said a couple of times in this channel, it's a family favourite in that my family of 4, 3 of us have read. That's 4. My brain doesn't work anymore. 3 of us have read this series as it is currently published. My dad, my brother and I actually haven't read the second and the third one because they've been working their way through the second and third one. They're back in Ireland. They've split the books between themselves. And now the books are here with me in Germany. Well, one of them. The second book is here in Germany. The third book, we're not sure. We're sending out a search party. So I knew who had done it. And looking back on the book, it's kind of obvious once you know who had done it. Then after that, we went to Spain. I read, somewhat with Brie, turned into like an accidental buddy read of the fake boyfriend fiasco. I kept calling it the wrong name on Sprints as well earlier today. And we had been talking, and we had just been like talking about that Talia Hibbert book that had come out with a new cover, and we found this. Today's her birthday, so I believe that she's off work. I don't think she's doing anything like businessy. And she messaged me just before I went on sprints and said, hey, for 42% in, you're not going to want to be on camera. You're going to want to turn camera off for that. And she was 100% correct. One of the best things I've ever read in my entire life. Then she hit me with the question, do you prefer Nick, the partner from this book, the love interest from this book, or do you prefer Zaf, one of Talia Hibbert's other male heroes and undefeated love of my life? I really liked Nick in this book. He is very much a cinnamon roll. He is a little teddy bear. He is a walking ball of anxiety. I want to protect him at all costs, but I have to give it to Zaf. I have to give it to Zaf in this, purely for two reasons. Number one, Nick is a soccer player and Zaf is a rugby player. I don't particularly follow the round ball. I follow the white egg ball. I am already pumped up to the jam for the Rugby World Cup in September. I'm going away for a weekend that Ireland will be playing, and I am contemplating stealing away from the group, bringing my tablet with me, and watching the game by myself. That's how into rugby I am. And also Zaf reads romance books. Nick is a wonderful guy, and I have a lot of time for him, and I really enjoyed this book that he was in. But I think it just has to be Zaf. So the fake boyfriend fiasco follows the aforementioned Nick and also follows Arya, to whom Nick pays an obscene amount of money to pretend to be his girlfriend. And hijinks ensue, and sex boxes are taken out of luggage and discovered on a bed. And it's a whole entire scene. It is phenomenal work. It's one of Talia Hibbert's earlier books. So I would say that the writing is a little bit on a lower peg than the Brown sisters, but you can see how she develops as a writer. This is not going to work out well for the rest of my hair because I am already sticking to my forehead. So tomorrow I have more sprints on my channel at 10 o'clock in the morning IFA time, and what I'm going to try and do is read as much of Rich People Problems as I physically possibly can. I'm not going to finish it. It's a 550 page book. I'm not going to finish it in 4 hours. So we're going to hang out on sprints, we're going to have some coffee, we're going to read some books, we're going to get a little bit further on our goal to Santorini, we're going to look around a little bit more, and who knows, tomorrow could be the day. There could be a brand new prompt that we need to deal with, there could be a brand new section of my bookshelf that I need to take a look at. Who knows? I just have a feeling Bree's not going to do it today because it's her birthday. Like for me, it's just coming on 10 to 1 in the morning the day after her birthday, so the 19th. But her birthday is the 18th of August, and in Utah it is still the 18th of August. So I'm hoping beyond hope that my prediction is correct and she's not going to be a chaos goblin on her birthday. Because I feel like her birthday is a sacred day and she shouldn't do anything with it to ruin mine. Thanks, Brie. Good morning. You find me today on the balcony on my little hammock. We don't look great, but we're making it work. Let's change the angle a little bit. Okay, so I'm running sprints at the moment. Keeping an eye on it because on Monday, sprints did not go very well. Keeping an eye on my internet from the balcony while I just take it easy with my hammock and a cup of coffee. I'm 12% into Rich People Problems. I don't think I'm going to get it done by the time there is a new prompt dropped. That is a kind of possibility I've come to terms with. It's a huge book. I think it's something like 540 pages or something like that. So the possibility of finishing it by the time we get to Santa, by the time we get to wherever it is that we're going next, low. No idea where we're going, but I have a feeling it's going to be today. I don't think Brie wanted to do any chaos on her birthday, and she did not. Thank you. But I have a feeling we're going somewhere as soon as she wakes up. So for me, she's awake at like 4 or 5 o'clock this afternoon, at which time I will be out doing things. So I can't drop everything and read this time. But if I can fit Crazy Rich Asians into the prompt, maybe I can fit it in. Let's see how we do. And if not, we're just going to have to deal with it. I have no idea what I'm going to be reading. I have no idea where we're going to be going. I have no idea what is happening anymore. August has just been the month of vibes. And doing what we have to do.
Next prompt has just dropped. Next city has just dropped. We're going to Cairo. And because Cairo is a big historical city and has loads of like historical sites and shit, I'm so eloquent. We're reading a historical fiction book. Slight problem. Can't think of a historical fiction book off the top of my head. There's one in my head, which is The Girl That Went Home, or The Girl That Came Home, or something about going home, by Hazel Gaynor. You can also do a dual timeline where one of the timelines has to be set in the past. So, let me see. I'm going to put you here, nice and gently so that nobody falls over. I'm going to put you here. And I might disappear now and then because I'm going to have to like look through my entire bookshelf. I'm not going to fulfill the yellow. I can already tell you that for a certainty. What I might be able to do is a 7 Days in June by Tia Williams. That definitely has got a, like, it's a second chance romance, so it definitely has got a, like, in the past section to it. So it's an option. It's definitely an option. It's 50%. It's 50% yellow. And it's one of my host favorites. So it will get me an extra 50 bonus GRC, not bonus points. Totally different. Totally different situation. What else do we got? I feel like another one of the TJRs, like one of the earlier Taylor Jenkins reads. I feel like it's One True Loves. Is it this one? It could be this, yes. Maybe it starts off with like their wedding, or you talk about, like, you watch their wedding together, or like, I know that this is about a couple who get married. They're like high school sweethearts and then they get married. And a year after their wedding, the husband disappears in a helicopter crash. That is another option. I'm going to have to sit with these options for quite some time. I'm going to have to sit with them for a little bit and think about it. I'm looking through my entire bookshelf and being like, oh, were you set in the past? Do you have a timeline back then? In the before times? I'm not sure I can make this work, but it is set in a weird timeline. So they go back in time, which is obviously before now. So it has got two timelines because they go back in time. And it's really short, so it might be a really good sightseeing book. I don't know. I think it might be a good sightseeing book if I can make it work. I also forgot about Brooklyn, which is on my shelf. It is blue. But the back cover is kind of like very, 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 very pale, whitey, yellowy. This is set in the 1950s, and it is the basis of the film with Saoirse Ronan in it. She starts, Eilish in the book starts out living in Wexford and then emigrates to New York, which I fully understand, because if I lived in Wexford, I would also leave. So this is another option, but it's probably another sightseeing option because it's quite short. It's only 252 pages. So the sightseeing option, two sightseeing options of around the same length, which could stack up about 500 points, roughly. I think I want to do something that's got a GRC attachment to it, just to buck that up a little bit. So I'm thinking either an Evelyn Hugo or a People We Meet on Vacation. Conveniently, both my own favorites. So I'm giving myself the free money. But if I choose Evelyn Hugo, I'm also giving myself the free emotional damage. Hi. Fan is going again in the background because it is again 9 billion degrees. Me and Evelyn are having a great time. A fantastic time. I was a little bit worried about going into an Evelyn reread purely because of the fact it is one of my favorite books of all time. And I was a little bit worried about, would I still love it as much the second time as I did the first time? Would I still want to just drop everything that I was doing, not look around a new city and just read this book? Turns out yes. Even though the city is the one that has been home for almost 2 years, I don't want to do anything today. I just want to read this book, which is a little bit counterproductive because I have got quite a lot to do today.
I've got a couple of videos that I need to film. I've got a couple of things that I need to organize in the house, but I am doing sprints with Brie at 5 o'clock this evening. So 5 o'clock this evening is going to be business hours are over. I'm not going to be filming anymore. I'm not probably going to edit anything. I'm probably going to do that in the middle of the week. I'm just going to read the book. I'm on page 142. I had a little bit of reading time last night. I joined Bree's sprints for like the first sprint, and then halfway through I clocked out because I was just super tired. And then at 5 o'clock I'm going to come back. I'm going to have Evelyn with me, if I haven't finished it by then. And I'm going to go into a sightseeing book on sprints, I think, of the third Before the Coffee Gets Cold book, or People We Meet on Vacation. People We Meet on Vacation will get me extra money, but Before the Coffee Gets Cold will get me POC and translation points. But it is quite short, so it will equal to whatever it was that the page count for People We Meet on Vacation was, roughly. Let's see. I might even get to both. I might even get to both of them. Who knows? I think it's time that we close this vlog down. Shut out Yellow Week. It was not completely successful. I tried to make every single travel book that I read yellow. It mainly worked out. Most of the travel books that I read were yellow. I think it mainly worked out. I ate as much yellow food as I could. Didn't always happen. There were a couple of days that I don't think I ate anything yellow, but I showed you a couple of them, the ones that were the best ones. Didn't really do so well with the yellow clothes. I think by Tuesday I had basically run out of yellow things that I was able to wear. But we gave it our best shot. I did my best with it. As for how this leg is going, I have arrived in Cairo. I finished Evelyn Hugo at about, I think, 6:30 this evening. It was just as emotionally damaging as it was the first time. It was just as good as it was the first time. I don't think it's going to be knocked off the podium for best book in the world, in my opinion, for quite some time. It was still just as good. And I found as well that this time I was picking up on things that I hadn't even noticed the first time. I don't think it's going to get much better than that. Let's see if anything could ever knock it off. Let's see if Taylor Jenkins Reid could do it again. How are we doing for sightseeing? I am reading Before Your Memory Fades. I am on page 64, and it is equally heartbreaking and emotionally scarring. This book, if you are not familiar with the series, is about a small cafe in a back alley in Tokyo where people can go in and they follow a bunch of rules and restrictions and regulations, but they can go back in time. They can visit people who've been to the cafe before and talk to them and feel like they've righted wrongs, and it's such a great series. So I've got this. This is going to be one of my sightseeing books. But I also just today remembered that I have the 4th book of the series as a NetGalley arc. And that does have a pink cover, so none of them are going to work for the colours bonus, but they will work for both the translation and the BIPOC authors bonus. Just before the sprint started, I gave Brie a message and I said, I'm finishing up my vlog for this week. Is there anything that you would like me to tell the yellow team? And she said, I want you to read this out verbatim. So I'm going to find it on my phone and I'm going to read it out to you verbatim. The red team seems to think that sabotaging the yellow team is the right answer, but I don't think they have the full story. Now, I also asked, I don't even have the full story. But all I know is that the red team has some kind of a vendetta against the yellow team. Why? I don't know. Do we need to right this wrong? Yes, we do. Anyway, I'm going to finish up some more of this book. There's about 20 minutes left in the sprint. So I'm going to finish this book up and then I'm going to head to bed. It has been an entire week. I think this vlog is going to be about 6.5 years long, so I apologize for the 6.5 year length of this vlog, but I hope that you have enjoyed watching me stress out about what things are yellow and what things are not. If you have enjoyed this vlog and you would like to leave me a comment but you can't think of anything you'd like to say, then just leave me any kind of yellow emoji that comes to your mind. Don't forget to like and subscribe because I have new videos up every week. Now, get on out of here.